Okay, we are live. Thank you to everyone for joining us today. I saw that there were quite a few people that were waiting even before we got started. So I saw there were 40 people in the chat when I logged in 15 minutes ago, which was good. If you're here, please say hello. Tell us where you're in from. Rosanna is the first one. Hello from Brazil. Obrigada for joining us today. Thank you so much. We've got Andy Crestodina joining us today from Orbit Media. Hello, Andy.
Hello, Crystal. I'm glad to be here. I've been looking forward to this.
Yeah, we're really happy to have you here. We always get a really international crowd. We've got some folks from Memphis, some folks from Ottawa, we've mentioned someone from Brazil. We always get loads of people. Someone from France today, and you're dialing in from Chicago. Is that correct?
That's right. Home sweet home.
And it must be a lovely time of year near the lake in Chicago this time of year.
It's gorgeous. If you haven't, it's really hard to describe Chicago, and it's a giant city with diverse neighborhoods. My neighborhood has a lot of baby rabbits at the moment, and fireflies
Wonderful.
at night. Yeah, there's parts of the city that are basically like you think you're in a Pixar movie. It's an adorable place to live, honestly.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, and yeah, I think that's really, really nice. And I see saludos from Ecuador. Bienvenido. I also see some folks from New Brunswick in Canada, and some folks from Toronto. Toronto reminds me of Chicago, says Mara. Thank you very much, Mara. I've never been to Toronto, but I hear the food is fantastic. And then we have someone from Tepoztlan. Is that in Mexico? Petra, can you confirm?
Must be. I'm guessing Mexico.
It sounds like that. Someone from Barcelona, hello. Someone from Atlanta as well, Guatemala. Lots of Spanish-speaking folks as of today. Hello. Oh, hello from South Africa. Hi there, Meg from Davis, California. I'm from California, so shout out to all the Californians there as well. We've got lots of folks dialing in today, and we are going to be talking about SEO for AI conversions, which I'm super excited about. I think this is a really, really interesting topic. Andy and I are both very passionate about it. So we hope to be able to talk to you a little bit more. Andy, are you going to introduce yourself a little bit more thoroughly when you get to your deck, or do you want to do it now? Okay.
Yeah, it's Andy Crestodina. I'm one of the co-founders of a digital agency called Orbit Media Studios. Orbit is a web development company. We build high-performing, search-optimized, conversion-optimized B2B lead gen websites for mid-market brands. I've done this for 24 years. I'm one of the co-founders. We're a team of 53. And one of the many companies that has grown, Crystal, you know lots of them, without any advertising. Our go-to-market is based purely on content strategy and organic inbound lead generation. So this is 24 years in SEO, conversion optimization, analytics, and all the things.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And I think that you are all in for a fantastic treat, because I've seen Andy present on a number of occasions. And I always learn so much from Andy. And I really hope that you enjoy it. So as I say, we're going to get started in just a couple of minutes. We're just letting a few more people file in. And FAQs are just in case people are asking, people are wondering, this is a live stream, but it is being recorded. So if anyone joins later, I can see Candace is the first one to ask. Yes, Candace, it is being recorded. If anyone else asks, yes, it is being recorded. And you can find it on this link later on. But you can also, I'll be sending through the resources from this document, or from this event later on this week as well. The YouTube link will be sent to you with an email, and you can ask questions in the chat, including is it being recorded. And then also we have webinars every month. We're not actually having one next month, but we will have one in September, and we'll have the details for that up later. And yeah, the agenda today is going to be, we're going to do some introductions. So Andy's just introduced himself just there. We're going to have a presentation from Andy, and then I'm going to share some Wix resources for how you can implement some of the things that Andy's talking about on your Wix website. And then we're going to go to Q&A. So if you have any questions that you'd like to ask, just put them in the chat here. We'll pick out the ones that work well for the conversation, and that will serve everyone well, and we'll get into it. And just before I get into the questions, I just want to say, if there's anyone here who's joining in there thinking, I'm a complete SEO beginner, I should say this isn't SEO 101. However, we have within the Wix studio SEO Learning Hub, we have a whole collection of articles and videos that are dedicated specifically to the beginner journey. So welcome to your SEO journey if you are a complete beginner. Welcome there, and also watch the webinar and absorb what you can. It will be recorded, so you can play it back and follow along as you go. And so pay attention to that. And we also have a course as well that outlines all of those things. So if you're a complete beginner, pay attention to what you can and ask questions and consider it as a start in your SEO journey. We hope that it inspires you to learn more. And with that, I am going to stop sharing. And Andy, have you got your
Sure do. Yeah, I'm ready to go.
there?
So here we
Wonderful.
are. Conversion first SEO. This is such an interesting topic, and I'm ready to jump in, Crystal. What do we think?
Absolutely. Let's get ready.
Okay. Search is disrupted. This is the big topic. I'm going to show you literally a screenshot of my own Google Analytics. I have filtered this just to show traffic from organic search, and you can see that it's dropping. But now I'm going to tell you why I'm not freaked out by that. And the reason is that the traffic to different types of pages is more dramatically affected some than others. It's really the traffic to the articles, to the pages for whom the visitor has information intent that are the most dramatically impacted. These are the key phrases that are more likely to have AI overviews in them. If you separate your traffic and look only at the pages that are not in your content program, it's much more stable. It's much less dramatic. It's not as much, remain calm and don't panic about top line organic drops until you have segmented your traffic and separated the content program from your sort of sales pages, right? Most of the drop is really to the blogs. And really that should be, it's important to understand that, because really, even if blog post traffic goes down, those are not the pages that were strong for lead generation. Those were not the conversion optimized pages that created actual demand for your business and got visitors to raise their hand and say, yes, this is what we do. Yes, I need your help. I'm considering options. I'm researching. I'm making a decision here. So conversion rates 5 to 10 times higher if you take those out. I'm looking at GA4, the key event right here. So it's not weird, and it's a long story. Why is organic traffic down? We're going to talk about the impact in search and the disruption in search, and then I'm going to make the case that there's another approach here that will drive greater performance even in this environment. It's not really because of rankings. I know that SEOs are very focused on rankings, but Google has been for 10 years putting things inside Google search results pages that have affected not rankings, but click-through rates. Compare. I've had this weird hobby for like 10 years where I collect screenshots of Google search results pages so I can visually see side by side the changes to the search results pages over time. SEOs call these SERPs, search engine results page. So I've got two SERPs here, 2016, 2025, the same key phrase. There's the fold. Look at where the number one position, look at all the stuff in the Google search results pages now. Look at how much noisier it is on the right. Look at all these things. It's really that the page one in Google is like a magazine. It's like a TV channel. It's got so much more in it. And the AI overviews are just one more thing that they've added. This story is much older than AI. Compare the number one position, 2016 versus 2025. The number 5 position, 2016 versus 2025. So why is traffic down? Because click-through rates are down. Why are click-through rates down? Because of SERP features. We used to have an ad and people also ask box. Now we've got an AI overview, featured snippet, an ad, what people are saying, discussions, forums, videos. Wow. Now, this is mostly, in my experience, impacting the so-called zero-click topic, is mostly impacting the top of the funnel, the content marketing articles. For a decade, we all taught that forever. We all taught that the content program targets the information intent key phrases. And it's the sales pages, the service pages, the product pages, your home page that target the commercial intent key phrase. You have to understand intent to understand SEO. It's why you have a visitor. It's why someone searched. It's the true story in their life. Now, 2016, Google launches the featured snippet, and the facts and definitions become zero-click key phrases. Honestly, that visitor didn't want to visit your website anyway. But all these other phrases and all these other pages still do get traffic from organic because they still do have sort of visit website intent. 2018, people also ask box. Simple answers are now zero-click key phrases, but people still do have visit website intent. 2024, AI overviews, even best practices and questions for which there's a longer answer. the visitor stays in search. They don't need to click. They can get their answer right there. But my case is to focus on the conversion focused pages, the lead gen pages, the sales pages that generate demand for your business. Those people still want to go to a website. They're considering options. This is not, those are still visit website intent phrases. Those are still less disrupted pages. And those are the pages that matter the most anyway, right? Having said that, I want to make the case that it's a little bit weird, I think, and I'm an SEO, I've been an SEO for 24 years. The keyword first approach to content, let me break these down. Keyword first or audience first? Let's compare. The SEO that is dead set on a phrase identifies a key phrase. If they're good, they first go look at the search results page to see if there would be click-through rates or if the visitor is going to stay in the search. And if there is no chance for click-through rates, they go back and find a different phrase. If there is a chance, they check to see, do we have sufficient authority for this phrase? They're going to use an SEO tool. I'm going to compare the keyword difficulty to my site's domain authority, because there's no point in targeting a key phrase if you've got no chance of ranking for it. If that looks bad, they go find a different phrase. If it looks good, they go make a search optimized page. They're not going to make the page unless they find a key phrase first. Now, that is, there's some keyword research involved. There's some SEO copy edits involved. That's part of the job. Now, consider the audience first approach. Hey, my reader needs this. My buyer needs this. This is important. This is a topic people are talking about this. Then you ask, is this a keyword opportunity? Not every topic is, but some of them are. And if it's not, they go make a great page. They just go write the page anyway. They're focused on making a difference, becoming top of mind, other channels, social, email. If it is a keyword opportunity, heck yeah, let's go for it. But first, of course, we need to check to see if we have a chance of click-through rates. If no, they write the page anyway. Go make a great page. You'll promote it in other ways. You can deliver it directly to your prospects if it's an important sales question answered there. But if it looks good, yes, then you check authority. Oh, no chance of ranking for this phrase. So what? Go make your page anyway, because you know that should be written. Your brand has a point of view. This is important to your visitors, and there's more to life than search. I don't miss keyword opportunities, and I love a good keyword, and I do optimize about half my articles for search. It may not have been a keyword first approach, but see the difference. There's more. This person is really more focused on empathy. Lydia Infante says this nicely. Not all content needs keyword research, but all content needs user research. That's our point. It is not just about keywords. It's not just about rankings. It's not just about traffic. It's about what happens in the mind of this person after they land on the URL. Pixels load, human eye sees the light, the interaction between those pixels and their brain. What happens? That's the moment in which you become memorable or you don't, you become top of mind or you don't, you caused word of mouth or you didn't, those things. I've got a screenshot. This is a bit of a rant, but this is a page about finding building management systems. Why does this page exist? Because the visitor is considering options for building management systems. They're a facilities manager, they're a real estate developer, or something like this. Okay, we know that they're middle funnel. They're problem aware and they're solution aware. They're serious. Look where this article starts. What is a building management system? Really? An SEO tool told this person I'm almost certain, a content brief was generated automatically and it said, add this section. Like, what? They're here because they're looking at options. They don't need you to define the term. That is totally unnecessary. It's weird to me. So my case basically is that we need to focus not just on traffic, but on conversion. We need to focus not just on keywords, but on the visitor's information needs, on why this person, on how your brand fits into their life. Right? This is the game. Now, having said that, I'm going to give you some methods. I'm going to use AI to find methods to find content ideas that align with my audience that may or may not be keyword opportunities, but it's fascinating. It's fun. And it's the most popular use case for AI. How are content marketers using AI? Generate ideas. That's the #1 use case. This is according to the survey I've done. Every year I get 1,000 content marketers to answer 20 questions. My survey is actually launching here shortly. I'll make sure to share. It's hard to get responses, and I'm grateful for anyone who takes it. But that brainstorming use case, the #1 use case. Watch this. Let's say we're targeting zookeepers. We're veterinaries. We're we're vets, doctors of large exotic animals. And I could do this for any of you. You could do this for yourself in minutes. Here's your provocative but mundane topic prompt. What are the topics that large exotic animal veterinarians care about? Glove thickness? AI just told me what my audience is interested in. Dart guns versus blowpipes. What's the best needle gauge for rhinos versus zebras? It's amazing, right? These are not things that I would have found through keyword research, but these are things that fit beautifully into a content program, content strategy, social strategy. What's the worst smelling animal medication? How to set up your truck. What's the most annoying species to work with? These are catnip in social streams. These will for sure start conversations. You can only imagine. And the vet, when it sees it, is going to be thinking about which of those medicines smells weird. Let's do it again. Office managers. What do office managers have strong opinions about? Thermostat battles. 100% of humans are experiencing temperature. AI has never experienced temperature. It can't really write that article. I don't use AI to write. But the passive-aggressive thermostat battle, your audience is going to love it. Reply all abuse. What about office supply hoarding or dishwasher rules? All of us are either the person who thinks dishwashers should be loaded a certain way, or we think other people are too uptight. All of us just segmented mentally into one of those two groups. These are things that people have points of view on. You get the idea. Now, I'll do that. My point is partly that there's other channels and that it may not be obvious, but SEOs and social media marketing for organic reach, those are algorithms. Big tech is in between you and your audience. AI now, new channel. Big tech's in between us and our audience. We are algorithm marketers. Is that our only hope of connecting? Is through big tech? There are other channels that are much harder to disrupt, that are undisrupted. Email, word of mouth, events. Look at us right now, right? There's no Google in between us. We're here together. Communities. These channels are disintermediation. So there's, of course, more to life than search. Now, you can also use search to find topics that journalists love, which is great for SEO because they become link magnets. That statistic I showed a minute ago about the top use cases for AI, that blogger survey I mentioned, has attracted literally 2,000 links from other websites with no link building at all. If probably we all already know, links are a search ranking factor. Sites with higher domain authority, as we said earlier, if you have sufficient authority, you can target a certain key phrase. Links matter, still matter. But what do people link to? Original research. What kind of original research? It is content that catches the attention of journalists. It fills a gap. For example, zookeepers face higher burnout rates than other workers. Really? I think a lot of bloggers in zookeeping categories would like that. Hand-reared animals. Zookeepers is a female-dominated profession. If I had that statistic, you can imagine all the blogs that would love that, like the link attraction. These would be link magnets. How many zoo animals are named by the public versus the staff? It's going to be an adorable piece, right? You're going to have the baby animal and the name of the animal and like how it was named. Noise pollution, which animals require more labor hours. This is gold for SEO. If you can produce a new original statistic, you are a categorically different kind of brand. You are literally the primary source for new information. Very few brands do this. It's a huge opportunity. Make your brand the primary source for new information, and you will have SEO. It's a bonanza for people will cite your content all the time, but also it's highly differentiated. It's not necessarily keyword first. It's an audience first approach. I gave it the job title, zookeepers. I asked it for original research topics. So these are awesome ideas for link attraction. You can also ask AI just all kinds of things that are audience first and conversion focused. What questions are people in your industry afraid to answer? What false things do people in your industry believe to be true? What are the most important topics that your target reader doesn't know? It will tell you. That's how to grow your email list. That's how to be a differentiated content brand. That's how to impress the visitor who lands is like, wow, this was new. Keyword research would never reveal that, right? It's not going to go there. It doesn't know. It's only looking at, search volume and things like that. What are the most important topics that are not covered by the big blogs? That is an amazing bit of gap analysis. AI can tell you the most important, least covered topics in your category. Keyword researchers never find those. Okay, I'm going to move on now to the the sport of lead generation. I think of digital marketing as a sport and analytics as the scoreboard. So I'm now focused not on content strategy, but I'm deeper down the funnel and thinking about why people do and don't take action on pages. You probably have visitors on your key pages right now. Go look at real-time analytics. There's probably people on your key page, on your home page. What are they finding? What aren't they finding? How is that page unsatisfying for your audience? I'll give you an example. Oh no, I'm auditing content first. I'm going to come back to lead gen in a second. This is an article. This is a fun AI use case. Is this article a good article? It depends on what the audience thinks, not what I think. Does this align well? Does it check the box for the visitor? Here's my own best practices for content marketing. I think articles should have a strong opening hook. They should be very visual. They should be strong, well supported with evidence. They should be highly structured. They should have internal links, expert quotes, personal perspectives, and they should be topically complete. I put those best practices into a prompt, but not a prompt to audit the article, a prompt to generate the prompt that audits the article. This is a huge AI unlock for a lot of people. When you realize that AI is better at writing prompts than you, and in fact, every prompt you ever wrote was just a draft, and you can ask AI to make you a better prompt, but you have to tell it what success looks like. This is the criteria that I wanted to use when it generates this prompt. Your goal is to make a reusable prompt for auditing articles. So I give AI all of that, and it gives me a reusable prompt, and it's actually really interesting. It created a little scoring system. It's going to add suggestions. It's got color in here. It's got it's going to add missed opportunities. Seriously, I could not have written that prompt that well. Instead of writing prompts, ask AI to write you a prompt. Instead of asking prompts to do writing, ask AI to do prompts to do audits and find gap analysis. Then you have to go test that prompt, of course. And when you test the prompt, it looks something like this. Here I copied and pasted that prompt along with a full page screenshot of the article. Full page screenshots are great because it can visually see the page. I use, you have to have a paid account, ChatGPT Plus or whatever, a $20 account allows you to upload things. And take a full page screenshot using a Chrome extension or using Snagit. I love Snagit, it's perfect for this. So I give it the screenshot of the article. I give it the prompt, which it wrote, best practices, the scoring system, missed opportunities. And it's going to come back and gives me scores. Oops, the opening hook wasn't that strong. Oops, I didn't include visuals at every scroll depth, but the formatting and structure was very good. So you can start to imagine how AI can make you a better marketer and create content that is better aligned with your reader, not just for like Surfer or Market Muse or Phrase or ClearScope, which is going to audit it for keywords, but for auditing it for the human visitor, auditing it for the psychology of your visitor. Remember, there's a true story in the life of every visitor to every web page. The extent to which you know that and you can align with that is the extent to which you will persuade, engage, convert, be memorable, be compelling. Isn't that the purpose of marketing? That's the problem with search, right? It's all cheese, no mousetrap. You're just attracting visitors without aligning with that visitor's information needs, right? Without solving the problem for them that day. That's the risk of SEOs, is that they just, what is building management system? Dude, they know that. They're trying to evaluate options. Your keyword told you that they were trying to evaluate options. So, of course, if I was writing an article about building management systems, I would have naturally include my own perspective on that. Be human. That's how to differentiate yourself from AI. Add an anecdote, add a little story. So this article did check the box for relevance to target audience. It did give detailed answers, and then AI comes back and makes and shows missed opportunities with example fixes, right? Could you put that into this piece? So the content audit prompt, I think, is an excellent method that will help you confirm that you didn't miss anything, gap analysis, more topically complete content that aligns with that person's psychology in the moment. Now I'm moving on. Crystal, sorry, this is a reorganized deck. I've been thinking about you and had to restructure this. Now I'm going to focus on lead gen. If I had only 10 minutes, I probably don't have much more. This is where I would start. I think marketing is properly done from the bottom up. We should optimize our key pages to convert visitors into leads because that improves performance from every traffic source. There's visitors on those pages right now. The conversions from those aren't subscribers, but they're leads. And this is also the way that you train AI to know more about your brand, is by making topically, detailed key pages that convert. And again, these are the pages in this account. These pages are 10 times more likely to convert the visitor into a lead. Why? Polish your money pages to perfection before you go write another article. That's my tip. I put this together into a big infographic 2 weeks ago. My thesis here is that pages work or don't, they convert or they don't because of 4 things. Answers to questions and objection handling. That's about clarity. Do your pages do good objection handling? Right? If they don't, your conversion rates will be lower. Then they supply supportive evidence, and they have click-through rates that align with psychology. This is what they came to find. This is what you wanted them to find. And every page block at every scroll depth has a specific job to do in this context. The impact, the social proof, the differentiation, the stories, the outcome, the credentials, the values, the low commitment CTA, schedule a quick call, or talk to an expert. So to confirm that your pages are doing this, you need to know the audience. And to know the audience, you have to start with a persona. This is a synthetic member of your target audience. Once you know this member of your target audience, that person is, you can then talk to it all day. You can get all kinds of insights from it. I believe the future of digital is to build synthetic audience members and then run simulations where you give that audience member your homepage, your content calendar, your ads, whatever you do, your email sequence, and find out what's missing. AI-powered persona-driven gap analysis is the most interesting thing I've done with AI in the last 2.5 years. It works like this. Here's my persona prompt. Of course, we're sharing the slides. This is fill in the blanks. I have a much more detailed way to do this. I ended up building a custom GPT that goes a lot farther, but this will get you started. Job title, industry, company size, geography. What's their job, their roles? What problem are they trying to solve? And in your category, in your industry, your product, your service. And I want 4 things. So that's the who they are, the what they need. And I want 4 things: their hopes and dreams, their fears and concerns, their emotional triggers. That's really important. And their decision criteria for selecting a company like yours. If you don't know that, how can you really do good marketing? You must know their decision criteria so that you can construct a page that aligns with their prioritized needs and guides their eye through a series of messages that answers their questions, addresses their objections. So I built one here for zookeepers. This is zookeepers, they have these, this is what they care about. These are their challenges. They're looking for a veterinary service. They got exotic animal hospitals. Give me those 4 things. And it comes back and gives me a beautiful little persona named Alex, who wants a robust preventative health program. Alex wants to see their animals thrive. Alex is worried about disease outbreaks. And Alex doesn't like budget cuts. Alex gets angry when there's bureaucratic delays that hinder animal care. So now I know that this person needs to see that we have proven experience with large animals. We have a track record of keeping our appointments. We're committed to minimizing animal stress. So this persona becomes an incredible roadmap for conversion. We need to show relevant certifications and licenses. We need to indicate to them that we can create a preventative care program, right? We need to show that we can respond to emergencies quickly. This is why Alex will or will not become a lead on this website. Why don't people click calls to action? If you don't know that, you're really just a top-line marketer. To be a full funnel, bottom-line marketer, a lead gen marketer, right? Dual threat, search and conversion optimization. You must know the reasons why they do and don't take action. Keyword research won't tell you, but the persona research will. Alex might need me to transport those giant elephants, whatever the case is. I don't know if that's accurate. I don't really trust AI. I'm going to assume incorrect. AI might as well stand for assume incorrect, because you have to look at it and add your insights, and you're the expert and you know your real audience and you've had 100 conversations with them. So fix it. Just don't drink all the Kool-Aid and do whatever AI says. Next is really interesting because you can do all kinds of interesting things with this. You could ask it anything. What would help you do your job? What social posts might you click on? What keywords might you search for, Alex? What research studies could I produce that would help you do your, that would support your current initiatives? And what do you hate about looking for us? Everybody should know what their audience is sort of annoyed by in the moment of research. It's going to help you better align with them. And alignment's our goal. Look, Alex is hanging out with this lizard. Once you have that, you're going to keep it. You're going to save it. You're going to name it. You're going to use it all the time. Better yet, I like to make those a PDF. I did this once today already. Take it out of ChatGPT or Google Gemini or whatever you use, Claude, and then you can drag that into subsequent prompts, which is extremely useful when you do a web page audit. Is this veterinary services page good? Does it satisfy their information needs? Does it answer their questions, address their objections, use supportive evidence, and have clear, compelling calls to action? What I said is the 4 key factors in conversion optimization. Well, it's got pictures of animals. That's not bad, but look, the zookeepers are kind of confused. Like, what? I don't know. Is this a fit? Do these people, can they help us? So I'm going to give AI that web page, again, a full page screenshot, and I'm going to use a conversion optimization prompt. Here's a basic one. Similar to my content audit prompt, it's just going to kind of list the criteria, the success factors. Does the header clearly indicate the topic? Does it answer visitors' questions? Does it address their objections? Does it use supportive evidence? Does it leverage cognitive biases? Now I'm doing this in the same conversation with the persona, or I'm dragging the persona in as a PDF. I'm giving you a web page. Rate the extent to which it did those jobs. We got a good score for the header clarity, complete veterinary services for zoos and aquariums, but we did not use supportive evidence. There's a total lack of testimonials, case studies, tangible results, data, statistics, certifications. It's like 12. I wrote a book about this. There's 12 kinds of evidence you can add to a web page. This has none of them. Does it have a personal connection? Does it show who we are? Does it share our values and our points of view and our people with their faces and names? Nope, nothing like that at all. And it doesn't really highlight the good marketing. You should always remind your visitor what they will miss, risk, or lose by not contacting you. That's going to trigger, loss aversion, for example. There's a risk to your animals if you don't get expert care, right? And calls to action, contact us is not a call to action. Not impressed. Not really what we're doing here. Schedule a consultation, talk to a zoo expert. Now look how happy they are. Don't look too closely at the hands. I've got another one I'll do. Let's say we're targeting HVAC. I can do this for anybody. Heating and cooling contractors, mechanical contractors, people that install heating and cooling systems, HVAC engineers. Build me a persona of a building engineer, a facilities manager, commercial real estate company, hopes, dreams, fears, concerns, emotional triggers, decision criteria for selecting a company like ours. We're selling like HVAC systems. They want to extend the life of their HVAC system with upgrades, not just replacements. They want to be seen as proactive, cost-conscious leader. They're worried about making recommendations that result in downtime. The tenants will be angry. And they don't want to get stuck in a relationship with a vendor who disappears. They get frustrated when people suggest cookie cutter systems because their building is custom. They like tools that make them look smart. Things like life cycle cost comparisons and maintenance schedules and performance guarantees. This is how that buyer buys. This is how this is what they want to see. In other words, these pages have to kind of do the sales job, right? People are very confident in the solution before they even click a call to action. These pages have to sort of emulate a sales conversation. Another way to say this, look at these. You have to know what wins the sales conversation to be a good marketer, to do good marketing, to convert the visitor, to satisfy to align with them in that moment. Keywords are just part of it. That's just attracting them. Why put cheese on a broken mousetrap? Not helpful. Here's a page that has that product, air handling solutions. Is this a good page? It's a market leader. It's got some products. It's got a contact link. But those contractors are confused, like the zookeepers, like, what is this? I don't know. Is that the one? I can't tell. So I'm going to take a full page screenshot. I made a video this time. Here I'm clicking go full page. It's just a Chrome extension, free Chrome extension, makes a full page screenshot. Download that to the page, to my desktop. I've got that. Upload that full page screenshot with the persona I generated to a, here I'm going to give it a persona alignment prompt. Take a screenshot or grab the deck, or you can see there's the whole prompt, right? This is a persona alignment prompt. Clearly AI helped me write this. It's going to create a list of missed opportunities, which I love. A table for alignment, a heat map matrix, I love the color, and a list of missed opportunities. What do we think? Well, it said that we did not really talk about efficiency, even though that's important to our buyer. We didn't talk about aligning to connecting with automation systems, even though that's important to our buyer. Installation speed, technical training, nope. Not impressed. AI is not impressed with this. Neither am I. It's a really weak, generic page, kind of resting on the strength of the well-known brand. Doesn't really, it's not as likely to generate leads as it would be if it's certainly aligned with what that person cares about in the moment. That's the job. These pages are not for you. It's for the visitor. And when they look at it, what aren't they seeing? An easy way to find out is to do AI-powered, persona-driven gap analysis. Unmet information needs. Your job is to meet information needs. If you want to see the missed opportunities, it lists them. Oops, didn't talk about install speed or uptime or energy savings. Oops, didn't talk about technician support structure. And there's the recommendations for addressing those. Example copy. I don't know if this is accurate. It made it up. None of this might be true. I'd have to write my own, but it spotted the gaps for me. So that's the idea, is that we're trying to make detailed content that helps these people decide, which, by the way, is the same content that the AI trains on, making AI more likely to recommend your brand. If AI goes through the detailed sales page and sees that who you help, how you do it, how it compares, if it has this, do you do that? When that super long prompt that people enter, like, I'm a facilities manager looking for a building automation system that connects with these tools and has service guarantees, and efficiency, calculator, you're more likely to get mentioned because you made a very detailed page, not through semantic SEO and keyword research. Again, I love a keyword, but by aligning with the audience, with what they need at the moment. Now they're psyched. Okay. I'm going to move ahead a little bit and let's see what we think of this. Crystal, I can come back to some of this. I mentioned appearing in AI search. This is not the same game. Search is about queries. AI is partly about prompts. Search has ranking factors. Generative AI has parameters. It's not a search results page. It's a response. It's an answer. And it's not about ranking. It's about getting mentioned. The difference mainly is that search is a deterministic algorithm. It literally ranks pages on the internet. Generative AI is probabilistic. It's using a huge probability matrix and math to figure out what the next token of language is in a long sequence. So it's not stable. It's hard to report. People are using very different ways to use it. These super long prompts. The average prompt is way longer than the average query. And some of these prompts aren't even the same types of intent. SEO is about information intent, articles, commercial intent, the sales pages, and navigation intent, people trying to get to a brand, right? Know, do, go. Those are the three main types of search intent. But with AI, we have this wild new category of just generative intent. Like they're just, using it in very different ways. It's likely true that these visitors are more engaged. Kevin Indig shared this similar web data. Google search visitors are likely less engaged on average, maybe because ChatGPT is helping people find just the right page, maybe because they put in so much detailed prompts that they have high degree of confidence once they land. If you want to check that for yourself, just go to GA4, change the primary dimension to source medium on your traffic report, and just scan down. And when you see ChatGPT, look, the conversion rate is twice as high. A visitor from ChatGPT is twice as likely to convert into a lead as a visitor from search. Caution, I'm talking about some very low numbers here. I'm literally reporting 6 leads to you. But you can probably see traffic and leads in your GA4 at this point. So how do we appear in ChatGPT, right? Whether we call it AIO or GEO or SEO or LLMO or whatever. I'm not sure the name yet. Crystal, if we figured that out, let me know. The best data I've seen is from Ahrefs, and they say that the strongest correlation between what brands are doing and whether or not they appear in search results or in AI responses are branded web mentions. In other words, your brand name, your company name is nearby closely related terms. It's not about links. It's about instances on the internet of your company with the business category and the services you offer and who you help all nearby. You're literally training the AI. I'll give you a quick example. I'm in a community. It's the Inc. 5000 community. And being part of community is great because you're interacting with other content creators. When this person posted a question, I quickly dropped everything and posted a very detailed answer. And she's a journalist, so that then appeared on the internet in this article, and my answer appeared there, right? This is digital PR. Now, you see how my brand is next to agency focused on web development, website optimization? See how that all goes together? I'm training the AI. That's the game. This is the branded web mention that Ahrefs was talking about. This is likely the future of AI discovery. Hey, there's a link. Great, that's good for SEO, right? Wait, does it link to our website? No, it links to this weird page on their site, like a profile page. Do I care? Don't care. If I'm doing AI optimization, doesn't matter to me at all. It's not about links in this context. It's about having the biggest digital footprint, having mentions of your brand with nearby those related industry terms. I also do this sometimes. You can kind of reclaim these. Here I am in a different article. I'm always networking and contributing and collaborating because that's part of PR. This site mentioned me and they put my brand there, Orbit Media, blah, blah, blah. Hey, editor, if you don't mind, would you mind adding that text web development company next to Orbit Media? It's kind of good for this GEO, AIO, whatever it's called. If so, I'd be grateful. Just a very transparent, upfront request to edit the thing. Yep. He updated the article. Thanks for participating. Here it is now with the branded web term nearby, right? The brand plus the industry related terms. I think that's probably the future of AI discoverability. And when that works, you get recommended more. And you should be able to, again, track that traffic and analytics. Are people getting to your website from AI? Maybe yes. We just saw the conversion rates are higher. You can make that report yourself. You can make reports to track this in Google Analytics. On this screenshot, I've got the regular expression that you can create as a filter in a GA4 exploration to track traffic from AI. That's it. It's all right there. You could type that in or connect with me on LinkedIn and ask me. I'll share that regex. It simply is a string that describes AI sources. So when the page refer is one of these sources, it filters this report to show just that traffic. And you can see ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini. So you can watch that. Oh, here it is. That's it. You could take a screenshot of that, or you could ask AI to make one for you. If you look closely at this, it actually makes perfect sense. It's just a string that describes AI traffic sources. And I made that a filter inside my exploration. Now I'm only looking at AI traffic sources. That line chart shows that. You can go farther and make that add landing page. All the settings are here. Landing page is my rows. Page refer is my columns. Values are just sessions. And then down below this, you'd see I made that same filter. This is how people are getting, this is where people land when they come from AI. Ready to do some content analysis, some analysis? Okay, I'm going to wrap up here, Crystal. We'll make this a conversation. But my last point here is that search is insufficient. It generates visibility and traffic. It does not by itself generate demand. The dual threat marketer, the cheese and mousetrap, the search and conversion optimization pro. One of these people can grow a brand. You just drop them in a brand and it grows because they can attract qualified visitors and convert that visitor into leads. They confirm using AI personas or whatever method, heuristics, their own experience, that the page answers questions, addresses objections, supplies supporting evidence and doesn't make unsupported claims, and it has clear, specific, compelling, low commitment calls to action that maximize click-through rates. In other words, we have to know more than just SEO. Years ago, Moz had a post that said, be a T-shaped marketer, know a little bit about everything, but go deep into a topic and be an expert at one thing. Okay, I'm saying today that that's maybe not sufficient, and that especially if AI makes us more efficient, we can add to skills, we can time to study. Let's go deeper. The other perfect complement to this is conversion rate optimization. So yes, search. And when you make these super detailed pages, you're put a bunch of key phrases in them anyway. If you're going to, what should you do first? Conversion or search optimization? Conversion, I think conversion, because search is not your only traffic source. And when you made the page comprehensive for your potential buyer, you put in a ton of key phrases anyway. SEO is the last step after you built the mousetrap, right? Now you can just confirm, do the semantic SEO, use the tools. And it's not weird. It's similar to what we've always done. Keyword research, user research, not that different. Conversion copywriting, on-page SEO, not that different. User flow, site architecture, very familiar. Supportive evidence, EAT. If you were adding supportive evidence all along, testimonials, case studies, years in business, team credentials, you got to ignore the whole EAT craze. Oh, Google said these pages should have expertise on them. Why weren't you doing that from the beginning? Now you're going to add trust after Google said it mattered? You didn't think of adding trust before? I blew off all the EAT stuff because I'd already been packing my pages with evidence and social and subject matter experts and data, all of the things I could possibly think of doing. And conversion analysis and traffic analysis are like literally in the same exact report. I showed it several times. So that's my case. I'm sticking to it. I'm going to stop sharing. And Crystal, let's maybe we can take some questions and see if we ruffled some feathers.
No, that was great. Thank you so much. I think you got into lots and lots of things there. I'm just going to take a couple of minutes and just go through a couple of Wix Studio things. If you guys have more questions for Andy, if you can fire them into the chat, he can see them, we can see them. So if you can, and we can sort of start thinking about them while I'm just going through this little bit. So I'm just going to share quickly what we've got on the Wix side. Mandy, I'm going to take you off the screen for give you a little minute to have a drink. Okay, so let's talk about some of the CRO things that we have in Wix. I've had some great questions in the discussion. The first one I want to let you know about is the Astro Assistant. So Andy was talking about lots of ways that you can prompt and lots of ways that you can create personas and that you can save that information to help you make prompts, and that you can have AI make prompts for you. You can use the prompts that you have that you get AI to make for you in Astro to help you make better content. So it can help you make a product page. It can help you make an event landing page. It can help you write a blog. It can help you do lots of those things. And while we were looking at it, one of the other things that Andy mentioned was looking at some of your data of some of the top performing pages. And I literally did this while we were chatting. I literally asked Astro, I want to analyze site data. Tell me which pages are so I asked up here, I said, which page on my site gets the most form completions? And it said, which do you want to do? I said, I want to analyze site data. And it came back and it said, these pages, these are the forms and these are the bits. And they made a whole report for me. So those are some of the things that Astro can do. I highly recommend that you check it out and see what it can do for you. The other thing I wanted to shout out is the AI visibility tool. So another thing that Andy talked about was understanding whether or not AI is getting to your website, if people are getting traffic from there. We have a brand new, hot off the press, just gone live tool called the AI Visibility Overview. And not only does it give you information on your site sessions, but it also tells you, which pages were there, whether AI crawled your website yesterday, today, whenever. It also tells you your visibility score, so whether or not you're showing up in some of those prompts, and it gives you all of that information in a big dashboard along with some of the brand sentiment things. So Andy was talking about your brand proximity when AI mentions you, and you can see that in your Wix dashboard. So if you go to your AI, or if you go to your analytics highlights, you scroll into the bottom, there's a little button you can click to see that. Getting into more technical things around CRO, you can see some of the evidence of whether or not a page is working using Microsoft Clarity. So Microsoft Clarity is a free tool. We have an integration in Wix, and you can track what's going on there. This is a screenshot of the dashboard. There's also an article that tells you how to use it. That's on the Wix SEO Hub. And then we also have some other tools that help you to craft text, like a GA4 integration. I mentioned the Microsoft Clarity, and we also have the AI writing tool. So we have the AI text creator, for instance. that you can use to help make an online store. But one of the things that you can do is you can use it to update your tone of voice. So you can make your tone of voice specific for conversion activity, and you can use some of the the triggers that Andy was talking about to incorporate into there. We also mentioned GA4. Again, you've got GA4 on your website, and then a couple of other articles. We have some articles on CRO. So we have one on product listing pages. We also have one on CTAs. They've got some great examples of real life CRO to help you there. And with that, I'm going to get to the the Q&A. I know I whizzed through that, but I just want to make sure we've got time for your questions. So I'm just going to take that off there. So we had a few questions. I don't know if it looks like we've had a few more as well, but just to get us started here, you mentioned EEAT. And some of the things you were talking about, having good evidence, having good information. You said later that you'd already been doing EEAT. Do you think that your approach is? Do you think there's a specific distinction, or do you think that creating content in this manner aligns with those ideas?
Well, it's really the same thing. When I saw EEAT, I thought that was a really strange thing that people got excited about it because you didn't have that on your page before. We should all have always had that in our content. Expertise, authority, and trust. Since when is Google, how did that little press release or whatever, the leaked quality rater guidelines suddenly make everyone care about trust? Trust was always part of marketing for 100 years. So here's the model mentally. The worst web pages are just a bunch of unsupported marketing claims. The best web pages, every marketing claim is supported with evidence. There are lots of ways to add evidence to improve the trust on a page. I listed a bunch. So you can write a prompt, give it a full page screenshot and say, rate the extent to which the marketing claims in this URL are supported, or make a list of all the unsupported marketing claims on this page.
Yeah.
Conversion first. If you did that first, you don't have to worry about EEAT because your page is oozing with trust. The orbitmedia.com homepage is like half the pixels are evidence. In Amazon product page, half the pixels are reviews. So I think it's sort of funny, and it highlights kind of the single-mindedness of SEOs that when the EEAT thing became a thing, suddenly everyone wants to add trust, even though that should have been there all along.
Right. And I think that this goes to, you were talking about some of the personas, and I think that this goes to knowing your user as well. I think AI is becoming more and more agentic, and so the AI will really know the user. So if you also really know the user, that will help. I think
we saw that in the persona, right? The zookeeper wants to see certifications. Do it for them. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And so we talked about some of the user data, and I think you were talking about being closer to the user as well. Can you give any recommendations on where you can get some of that user data if you're sort of starting out, or if you're new to sort of thinking about personas in that way?
The persona prompt is breathtakingly accurate. A lot of people who see it just say, wow, yeah, that's pretty much them. You kind of nailed it. But I still think it should be edited. While you're creating that, you can just upload all of your stakeholder interviews, if you have them, sales transcripts, if you have them. These make good personas for buyer. They're basically buyer personas. The problem with buyer personas is if you ask it for content strategy ideas, it's too focused on the buying decisions. So if you're looking for a persona that works both for the sales pages and the content program, then you really need to add in all of the top of funnel considerations. For that, maybe SparkToro. SparkToro has tons of really interesting stuff, like what podcasts they listen to, what YouTube channels they watch. There's other audience intelligence tools. But if you just, so if you're doing content strategy research, I would just give it the job title. If you're doing conversion optimization, I would give it a buyer persona. Start with the prompt, see how far it gets you, but absolutely add any data you can.
Yeah, I think that's great. And I think there's some of the conversations I find when you have conversations with people and you can't answer them, that's always a good opportunity. So that's a good opportunity for creating content as well. What was another question? So we had one for ProServe Inc., who was very active in the chat today, who was talking about the importance of brands and LLM crawlers. You touched on this a little bit. I don't know if you'd like to expand any more on that, in sort of how branding or the understanding of a brand can help, either with conversion or with getting more visible in AI responses.
Yeah, it sounded like the question I was trying to answer is how are LLMs important to brands? This question is how are brands important to LLMs?
Right.
There's a person who's looking for you right now, somewhere in the world, almost certainly true. They're typing something on a keyboard into search or into AI, and what do they find? Do they find you? If you want to know how much AI knows about you, just ask it. What do you know about this brand? And then if you want to know where it got that information, just ask it. What were the sources for this information about my brand? And you can do the same for your competitors. What do you know about competitor A? What are the sources? Competitor B, what are the sources? Now look at all of those sources for your competitors and go confirm that you are in those places. Because if they're present on a directory or they're glowing in a review site, but you're not there, you're at a competitive disadvantage in the massive probability matrix of AI, and you're less likely to get recommended. So that's a key step. Another is to just, if you have it, make a table that shows, like, tell AI to make a buyer guide for your category. And if it shows that you're deficient in certain things, maybe go start producing content to show how you actually maybe do fill those gaps. So use AI to find the sources where you should be that you aren't, and the topics, what you should be to them but still aren't. So that's AI is a fantastic research for doing AI marketing. Those methods might help.
I think that's great. Yeah, I think I find sometimes that the prompts, if I've spent ages trying to get refining a prompt, I'll ask it, how could I make this my initial prompt better so that I get here quicker? I find that that's sometimes really useful. Let's see what else. So I had there was another question. I think this is interesting. So I think that within this question, I think there's a certain amount of you have to look at the information, and there's a certain amount of international SEO. If you're getting a lot of traffic internationally, you might consider making another part of it, but in another language. But they're saying, how can I capture visitors that land on my website? Wix app pings me frequently. I see a visitor from other countries, but I don't know what to do with this info, right? So this is some of the information that you'll get where you find information that you're like, people are coming to my website, and maybe they're coming to pages that you wouldn't necessarily expect them to come to, and this can be some great a great prompting for you to optimize a page based on, are there any signals where you're like, oh, this page absolutely needs CRO? Is there any sort of times when you're like, this page needs CRO, like absolutely right away?
Yeah, I spend so much time in analytics. I have access to like 500 accounts. We've done so many projects over the years.
Okay.
And what's often true is when you look at a landing page in analytics, put it into a path exploration, to GA4 exploration, you can see that it's very unlikely that the visitor who landed on that page also went to the home page and then went to the testimonials and then went to the FAQ. And you almost immediately conclude each of these landing pages has to sort of stand on its own. It has to answer all the questions. It has to have all the supportive evidence. So you might say, oh, I've got great logos and awards and certifications. They're over there on that other page, insufficient. These pages must, for that visitor in that moment, they're looking, they're scanning. So every landing page that you see in your analytics or from Wix that shows you where people are coming into your site, fill those specific pages. Don't expect the visitor to put together the story by bouncing all over. Make that page, answer questions, address objections, supportive evidence, and clear calls to action. So that's a trick for SEOs. They maybe don't realize a well-optimized website has many entry points, and each entry point must do almost the full job by itself.
Yeah, I think that's something that people overlook a lot. If you go into your analytics, either your Wix Analytics or GA4, and you check the top pages for traffic or ranking or whatever, it's not always the homepage. Sometimes it is, but it's not always the homepage.
No.
And sometimes it's some blog
Sure.
that you didn't even think about. Sometimes it's a particular product, and it's really worth it's not assuming the user's journey there. And I think that's some great advice. And then let's see, where else have we got? Okay, then we got another question about duplicate content. We've got some articles on that on the site, on the Wix Studio Learning Hub. So please, I highly recommend that you go and check out our duplicate content there. But I think we also had another question where somebody said, and I'm just going to bring this up because I think it will be useful for everyone. And they said, can you share the prompts with us, please? And we will be sharing the deck and we will be sharing the replay of this webinar so that you can watch it at your own pace, stop, try things, get in there as well. And Andy, you are very active online, and I'm sure that you've got some great resources where people can find you. Would you like to share those just before we go?
Yep. My best social network is LinkedIn, so you're welcome to connect with me there. There's a blue follow button, but if you find the connect button, you can connect with me on LinkedIn, mention this webinar, and I'll know how we connected. Orbitmedia.com is where I write an article. I write one article every 2 weeks. And also, I'm quite active on YouTube now. So if you look for the Orbit Media channel on YouTube, you'll find a lot of videos. They're maybe 10 minutes each, going into kind of a lot of detail on actually everything we talked about today.
Yeah, and Andy also has a LinkedIn newsletter, which is fantastic. And I believe you'll be sharing some of the insights from this discussion on the newsletter, the next issue of the newsletter.
Sure will. And I put the deck into the private chat. You got the link already there, Crystal.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I will pop the, yes, I'll get that in a moment. But thank you to everyone for joining us. Special thanks to Andy Crestodina for delivering fantastic insights as ever. I hope everyone has a fantastic day and see you on the interwebs. Thank you.
Thank you all. Bye-bye. Thanks, Crystal.